Hey guys, I recently posted a video of all the personal questions you guys had for me, and so I am back today to do the daycare related questions. So if you didn't see that video, make sure you click the link in the description and go watch that one. But today I am here to tackle your daycare questions, so let's jump right in. Let's start with the most common question. A lot of you guys have little ones of your own in your daycare, so your own children enrolled in your care as well, and it's hard for you. And I'm right there with you. So a lot of you were asking, what do you do with your child? What do you do if your child's, upset by another child? What do you do with your child during the summer when they're home with you more? And that kind of thing. I have a whole video on, dealing with your own children during daycare, tips and that kind of thing. So I will link that below because it's a little older, so you may not have seen it. But know that I am right there with you guys. Especially our older daughter, it is very difficult. I'm very open about it. I don't have a whole lot of tips because I'm struggling right there with you, but try different things, find what works for you, and there may be nothing that really works all the time, and it may just be hard for your kid. It's just the truth. Some kids do better with it and some don't. Some kids, are going to have a hard time regardless because they just are a more strong-willed type of kid. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just know that that's one of the struggles. If you can have a place for them to go that's just their own so they don't have to have people in their space once in a while, that's definitely a huge recommendation. Find ways to build in time, special time with them during the day. For me, it's during nap. Find a way to allow your child to be a helper. We have line leader here at daycare, so I have a whole video on that as well, I think. So that, one child a day is the line leader, so they get to help with a lot. But our older daughter, Celia, is always my helper. So she will help hand out lunches. If she asks to do something, I usually say yes. Even if it's like a line leader task. And I've explained to the kids, and I think it's a good life lesson for them. Fare isn't always equal. And I say, you guys get to go home and have all your own toys, and you don't have to share your parent with other people's kids, and you don't have to share your house with other people's kids. But my kids do, and so sometimes they get to do special stuff that you guys won't get to do. It doesn't mean you're not special or whatever, but it's just one of the things that helps them do better with this situation. And it's just a fact of life that fare isn't always equal. If there is a child that's really, really, really tough on your own child, you can consider terming. I have had that situation in the past. It wasn't just targeted at my child, it was kind of targeted at everybody, but I did end up terming because I just thought it was too stressful on my own kids especially, and the other daycare kids, that it wasn't worth it to me, and I thought that child would do better in a different situation. It's a really hard call, but life's too short sometimes, and sometimes that child will do better somewhere else. You just never really know. But other things you can do is, separate them. If you find a certain time of day that they tend to be more upset with each other, you can set up stations during that time so they're not playing together. Pull one aside and do something special with them, and then switch, or set them up in partners and not allow them to play together. I have had certain kid combinations that just don't go well, and that's just life. And so trying to find just general ways in general to keep them separate, or get them doing something where they have to work together if that's not increasing their frustration with each other. Just try different things. And then as far as somebody asked, what do I do with my own children during the summer? Well, Celia, our oldest, was going to preschool 3 mornings a week, so now she won't be. What I do different, I just do what I've always done, and she's just here. But in the summer, it's wonderful because there's no preschool buses and stuff coming and going, so we go to the park. We have water play. We do a lot of activities outside. We're basically outside as much as possible. Snacks outside, lunches outside when we're able. It's just kind of harder because of the layout of my house. And this year I have a smaller group for the summer, which I'm actually thinking is going to be really good for my family. So if you can maybe make that work for you, or if it just happens to work out, that may be another idea as well. I run a daycare, and now with the new safe sleep rules, our pack and play sheets have to be ridiculously tight. How do you work this? Minnesota has very strict rules about sheets. Everybody's pack and play is different. The dimensions are slightly different depending on the make and model and brand. So I just try out different sheets, and I've also made my own in the past that are basically like a pillowcase that you slide over, so there's literally no way they can pull it off. So that's a really good idea. I am not a good sewer, but it's literally just, you know, right side to right side, sew up the 3 sides, and then flip it inside out and slide it down. It's very, very simple, and you can even use just like iron-on Velcro and sew it Velcros, or just tuck the loose ends underneath. That's worked really well for me in the past. Do you offer the younger kids different snack and lunch options? What do you do if kids don't like what you serve? I've answered this a few times. Some people are on board with me and some people aren't, and that's okay. I don't change anything. If a child, let's say I'm serving something and I have a really picky child, I may serve it slightly altered for them in a way that they might eat it. So let's say they don't eat pasta sauce and meat sauce mixed in with the pasta. I may leave it separate for them and mix it in for everybody else who I know will eat it that way. But other than that, or like if there's a kid who doesn't like red sauce, I may not put it on their pizza. Like if we're doing pizza bagels, I may just do cheese if I know they'll eat that but won't eat the sauce. So I will make slight modifications like that, but in general, I don't serve it any different. If they don't like it, they don't eat it. And honestly, my own child, my oldest, is the pickiest of any of my daycare kids. There are whole lunches where she'll see it, she'll grab it, and she'll go dump it and not even eat a bite. And I say, okay, well, we're not eating again till snack. If I were to serve her a different meal, she would expect that every single day whenever she doesn't like something, and then all of the kids would expect that, and then I would literally be a short order cook. And I just don't think that's teaching kids anything about life, about trying new things, about being respectful when you're served something and you don't like it. I just think you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I know other people have different opinions on that, but I think the more we expose our kids to different foods, the more likely they are to try it. And what I do is if kids eat all their food, or if like it's kind of a more, I don't know, a meal that they may not like everything, and I know it's kind of like something kind of risky for them, I'll say like if you eat this food and this food, then I'll give you seconds of something you like. But in general, they don't get anything for seconds unless they eat everything on their plate. But in general, most of my kids like stuff. I put cheese on just about everything. I've had people comment of how that's kind of funny, but my kids all love cheese, so if I put cheese on something, they're more likely to try it. So I don't know, that's my take on it. I do not cook different things if a kid doesn't like it. Usually most meals there's at least one thing they'll eat, and then we eat again in a couple hours, and life goes on, and nobody's starving, and they're all growing and they're learning, and it's going to be okay. I honestly think the bigger deal you make out of them not eating something, the more likely it is to become an even bigger issue. So I just try to be like, oh, okay, you don't like lunch today? No big deal. Well, we'll eat again at snack. And it's never a power struggle or nobody's crying. They just know if you don't like it. I always say, they're always like, oh, I don't like that. I say, oh, okay, then don't eat it. Snack will be right after nap, just like it always is. And they just know that's how it goes. And so they can listen to their body. And if they're really hungry, now is the time to try that new thing. And if they're not that hungry, that's okay too. Do you provide the parents with a daily report of what they ate and when they slept and things like that? I do that for infants and very young toddlers as I'm weaning them off of that. But older kids, it's basically the exact same every day. I share on a Facebook group, a secret Facebook group, pictures of like what we did that day for preschool, and like, did we go outside? Did we do puzzles? What did we do? And then if there's anything out of the ordinary, I tell parents verbally, or I'll write a little note. But other than that, like, our schedule is the exact same every day. So the only ones it may change for is the really little ones as they're getting on that schedule. But I do give like a little printout every day for them. But everybody else, it's basically the same every day. How do you handle your daily routine when you have a young baby, 8 weeks, who is not on any kind of sleep schedule yet? How do you help babies get into a good sleep routine? I have a whole video on preparing your infant for daycare. I will link below, and I had somebody ask how I prepared my own baby for daycare. Well, that's exactly what I did. I was probably stricter with my own baby than daycare parents are with their babies, getting them ready for daycare, because I knew I'm the one who's going to have to deal with her if she's not a good sleeper. So an 8-week-old should be on, in my opinion, well, maybe not 8-week-old, but a 12-week-old I would say should be on a rhythm, not necessarily a routine or a schedule, but a rhythm. Sleep, wake, eat, play, sleep, eat, wake, play. I did read Baby Wise with my second daughter, and I followed that loosely. We didn't really have to do cry it out or anything like that, but I did follow that routine because I did not want her to need to nurse to sleep, and she's put herself to sleep since she was a newborn, and it's been wonderful with a binky. So I just am consistent. I've had daycare babies, some easier, some harder. I just stay consistent. This is the routine, and just keep at it. There may be some nap times where they have to get up for a bottle because they're extra hungry or whatever, but I try to just stay consistent, stay strong, keep telling parents this is what we're doing, and, you know, stress the importance of that rhythm. And over time, I've never had a kid not get into the same routine as everybody else because I've stayed consistent. Kids are creature of habit. They like routine. It's just you got to stay on the routine, and eventually most of the kids, it's like they become tired the second the routine starts for nap. So it's just, I don't know, it's amazing, but you just got to keep at it, and it's hard work, but stick with it. Would love to know what your schedule time frames are like. So I have a whole video on my schedule. I've done a lot of daycare day in the life videos, so I will link those below. But basically, I open at 7. Kids arrive between 7 and 8. 8 o'clock we head up for breakfast. The kids color. I make a really quick breakfast because during the school year we usually have a preschool bus coming between 8 and 8:30. It's a really big range. So the kids color, I make breakfast, I serve breakfast. We're usually done by 8:30. And then at 8:30 we'll come back down. I will change the little ones, and the really little ones, like 18 months and younger, will go down for their morning nap from 8:30 to 9:30. That's when we typically do preschool time during the school year. And from at 9:30 I get them up, I change them. That's usually when I do a bottle if I have an infant. And then 9:30 to 10:45 is like free play. We'll go outside, we'll go for a walk, we'll play inside. You know, it's just depending on the day. And then 10:45 we head in or, you know, clean up, and we get our nap stuff out because it just makes nap time a lot easier when it's already laid out. I change the little ones again, and then we head upstairs to get ready for lunch. So from like 10:55 to 11:30 I make lunch, and the kids watch a show because that's just what works the best for us right now, at least. And usually I have a preschool bus come back during that time, and so I'm watching for the bus. That's why we have to be upstairs during that time. The little ones will play in a pack and play, or not pack and play, like a pop and play octagon playpen right next to me, and the bigger ones will watch a show. And at 11:30 we eat lunch. At 12 we're done. 12 to 12:15 they do a dance party in the living room. I clean up the kitchen. They go to the bathroom one by one. And then like 12:15-ish to 12:45-ish we're like getting ready for nap. It really just depends on the day. I change the little ones again, lay them down, lay the big kids down in this area, and then I lay my own daughters down. So I can get a little special time with them. So nap is from like 12:45 to 3. And then at 3, I get them all up. They go, big kids go potty, little kids get changed. 3:15-ish is snack, either outside or up in the dining room, which I usually put together and have ready to go during nap. So that's really quick. And then we usually read during snack. And then 3:30 we clean up snack, and we either head back outside if we're not already outside, or we stay inside depending on the weather. So 3:30 to 5 is free play and pickup time. We sometimes do stations, we'll sometimes play a game or whatever, but that's our general schedule. Where did you find your question of the day cards? From our preschool time. They actually don't make them anymore. They were a Lakeshore Learning product, but I have plans to make my own, so stay tuned if you guys are interested. What do you do when something happens and you have to close early? Do you just call all the parents to come pick up their kids? I've only had that happen a few times. One time last year when my dad was in a horrific, nearly fatal accident. Thank God he's okay. But my mom called me and was like, your dad has been in an accident and I need to go be with him. He's 2 hours away. And I said, okay, I will come with you, because I didn't want my mom to have to go through that on her own, and I couldn't keep working knowing my dad could have been dead. So I called all the parents, and they were all there within like half an hour and totally understood. And I actually ended up closing the next day too, because we were in the hospital till midnight, 2 hours away, with my 2 little girls who were 9 months old and 3 at the time. So there's just no way the next day was going to happen. Families were really understanding. I have had amazing families. Other than that, I did close when my power was out for a couple hours, and it said it might not be back on for a couple days. So I had parents pick up. I had really low numbers that day. And I closed like basically at like 8:30 a.m. on a day when we had breakfast and we came back down, and there were 45 yellow jackets in the daycare room. And yeah, I can't do daycare with 45 yellow jackets in the daycare room, so I closed that day as well. So things come up. I tell parents about that in the interview, and I say you have to be able to come get your kid or have somebody come get your kid in those situations. Centers, you pay more, but they will always be open. In-home, you pay less, but that's one of the trade-offs, is that sometimes you have to pick up your kid. So I just try to be really transparent that that's life, and if you don't like that, then pay for a center. I don't say that to them, but that's in my head what I'm saying. How do you manage your daycare when you want to go on vacation? I don't. I close. I know some people who will hire a sub, and a lot of people ask me about that. It just really depends on your area, your rules. We have some licensed subs in our area. It's just a lucky thing we have. So they pay the sub, and the sub comes during the day. But if you don't have that, close. I could not do this job without time off. Honestly, I couldn't. And so whether it's paid or unpaid, I think we all need some time off here and there. Okay, those are the main questions. Some of the other questions I've answered in other Q&A videos, so make sure you check those out in the description below. I'll link some. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any follow-up questions, leave them either in the comments of this video, but if they're disabled, there will be a community tab post with the thumbnail, so just look for that, and then you can comment there, and I will do my best to comment back, but I don't get notifications about it, which is really annoying, but I'll do my best. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.